Hello, everyone. I'm Elise Coulter. I am sitting down with Doug Mann, the Tiger from Dyer, Garofalo, Mann Schultz, and we're talking about a lot of different things. But today, we really want to focus on what you need to do after you've been in a car accident, because unfortunately, it can happen, right? It can happen to anybody.
It does. First of all, thank you for being here. It's my pleasure. And I'm here to answer any questions you have. So as far as if you're in an accident, which obviously that's what I've done for a long time. I've been an attorney for over 40 years. Our firm's been practicing for over 36 years. So I've dealt with a lot of people, a lot of injuries, a lot of accidents. So it is something, if you haven't been in one, what do you do? So any questions you have, throw it at me, see what I can do.
All right. So what is the first thing you have to do after you've been in a car accident? You're there, you've gotten into a crash, your adrenaline's going, your heart is pumping, and you might not even be thinking straight at that point. So what's the first thing you need to do?
That's a great question. So the first thing I would do, and it depends if you're on the highway or local road, you got to pull off to someplace safe. If your car's damaged where you can't move it, then you got to stay right there. But if it's on a busy highway, you try to pull off the side of the road, and call 911, get the police there, and look around to see if anybody's injured in your car. A lot of times you don't know you're injured.
Right.
It affects you that night, the next day. But be careful. Get the experts there to help you. And a lot of people say, well, do I talk to the other driver? Do I get out of the car? It all depends. You don't want to get out and start screaming at somebody.
Right.
That's not a good idea because today you don't know.
Yeah, you're so right.
You never know.
Yeah.
So I would just protect yourself, protect your family, ask everybody how they're doing, wait for the police to show up.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people say, what's the first thing I do after that?
Well,
call me. And I say that kind of humorously,
Yeah.
but it's true. I'd like to get involved right away.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to say something that hurts your case. Talk to the other side, say, try to guess how fast you were going or how many car lanes. I mean, I used to be an insurance adjuster, and this is right after law school. And my job was to call people and tell them not to get an attorney.
Right.
And so I'd say, hey, you don't need an attorney. I'll be fair with you. Here, let me get a recorded statement. Then you start asking questions, and people answer, trying to be nice, but they start guessing about, well, there's 7 car lanes, 10 car lanes, and that could really affect your case. So I would first call an attorney, call our office, let us be with you all the way from the start to the end.
Yeah, and it's really smart, I think, because you don't know what you should and should not say. So are there things that people maybe shouldn't say when they're out on that accident scene?
Well, a lot of people, you get out of the car and you go, oh, yeah, I'm fine. And you don't know that yet. So I wouldn't talk to anybody about how you're doing. I would walk around, I'd take pictures of your car, take pictures of any injuries that you see, and just if there's witnesses to the accident, get their names, address. It's very important to get as much information as you can, but it also depends on how you're feeling yourself. So once the police get there, and if you have your own insurance, turn it into an insurance company, call our office, and let us take it from there. Because if you do need to give a statement or talk about the liability in the case, we'd like to be there and make sure you say it the right way. That's telling the truth, but saying it the right way.
Right, because things can be misconstrued, misunderstood, and the insurance companies are going to try to get you in and out, kind of a thing. They want to get this case over and done with.
I mean, their job is to make money.
Yeah.
It's not to take care of you and your family.
Right.
And that's why after law school, I worked for an insurance company for 2 years, and I knew I didn't want to be on that side because my job was to save the insurance company money.
Right.
And I was good at doing what I did, but I couldn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to represent people against the insurance companies, and I proudly have done that for many.
And you've given them justice a lot of the
I sleep well at night, and I look forward to going to work in the morning, taking care of people.
Now, you mentioned earlier, make sure everybody's okay, make sure you call 911, if you can safely get out of the car. Should you take pictures, and what pictures should you be taking at that point?
Well, you definitely, if you're the damage to your vehicle, and if you're able to take pictures of damage to the other vehicle, I wouldn't converse a lot. A lot of times people get out and try to blame you for the accident.
Right.
You must have been speeding. Didn't see you coming. So you don't want to start arguing with the other person.
Yeah.
Or at least comparing facts. Let them tell the police their story. You tell the police your story. And again, if it's a liability question, we'll get involved right away. We have accident reconstructionists. We'll get them out there to figure out what happened and to prove your case.
Yeah. And what happens, though, if police come, they show up, and no one is cited? What do you do then?
Well, that's a good question. Parking lot accidents, say at Myers or Kroger's, they will not cite anybody. Because it's
I didn't know that.
Private property. So they'll take a report, an incident report, but they're not going to blame anybody or give them a ticket. And even if you get a ticket, if the other side gets a ticket, if they fight in court, it still could be a liability question that you have to win in our court.
Oh, that's crazy. That's interesting. I didn't realize that if it happened in a parking lot that the police wouldn't come in and kind of, that's interesting.
And anymore, I know locally they've stopped taking reports if there's no injuries reported at the scene.
Interesting.
So they're not going to cite anybody a lot of times. And so it makes it harder for us, but we've done it long enough that we can prove your case.
And you said you have accident investigators or reconstructionists?
Reconstructionists,
Okay.
will go out, measure skid marks, determine the speed of the vehicle, the sight distance. These are important things that we do, and we do it well.
Yeah. And so when you are hurt, though, are there things that you need to be, other steps that you need to be taking at that point?
Well, you want to get the right treatment. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, by all means, because if you don't get the right treatment early,
Yeah.
it could last a long time. So I would never tell anybody to treat unless they're having problems. But if your back hurts, your neck hurts, you get an ambulance, get to the hospital, let the experts take a look at you, and then follow up with your family doctor if you need therapy. Just do whatever, because you didn't do anything wrong. You don't want to hurt 10 years from now.
Right.
You want to get treatment, get better, and move on with your life.
Absolutely. And I know you mentioned earlier, you don't want to kind of get into an argument with the other person, but
I've seen some bad cases
I'm
where
I'm
fights
sure.
break out, and
Oh
you
my
don't want to do
gosh.
that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So, but how do you know if you have somebody who's a little, angry or aggressive and
Well,
pointing
you'll
the
know.
finger?
You'll know when they come flying out of the car and start
True.
yelling at you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, how do you ask them for their insurance? Like, how do you make sure they have insurance to cover you then?
Well, again, some people are very polite.
Yeah.
And they go, I am so sorry. I didn't see you coming. Here's my insurance information. Then there's the other side.
Yeah.
Where people just don't want to admit they were wrong, or they don't want to give you their insurance information, but do not fight with them. If that happens to you, again, call us, hire us. We will take care of that, and we'll talk to them, and we'll get their insurance company, and you won't have to worry about that part. All you have to worry about is getting better.
Yeah.
We'll get your car taken care of. You basically get your bodies taken care of, and we'll get you compensated for what you went through.
If there is a case that kind of sticks out in your mind, what is a case that sticks out in your mind where somebody got into a car accident and you said you had a couple stories where they've gotten pretty aggressive.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean, what is there a particular case that you could talk about that maybe you could say, hey, don't do this, or you know what I mean?
Well, the toughest cases on liability are the ones where there's a 30-car pileup. Say
Oh,
a
wow.
snowstorm hits.
Yep.
Is that an act of God? This person should have known this person. And you have 30 attorneys in a room fighting on who was at fault. That could be the most difficult. So that's not really the anger part, but that's the
It's just
the difficulty part.
Yeah, because everybody's pointing the finger at everybody
Oh.
at that point. Yeah.
Some of these cases take forever, but we're there fighting.
Yeah.
We'll start from the first day all the way through the end. And like I said, I'm very proud of what our firm does, what I do for a living. You can ask my wife. I get up in the morning. I love coming to work, taking care of people. And again, I'll do this. A lot of people say, Doug, when are you going to retire? And the answer is probably never. You can ask my wife on that. But, I'm doing something I love and
Yeah.
love taking care of people. So I'm proud.
Which is great. And I think you made the right decision, moving from the other side of the insurance company and coming to fight for them for justice. And so it kind of gives you a little bit of a leg up on it.
No question
how
about it. After law school, it was like getting a master's degree working for this insurance company. And again, I'd be talking to you, going, I'm so sorry you were in an accident. Don't call that attorney. Please, just here, sign this. And here's $50, sign this release. And I did it all the time. And I go home at night and I go back to my wife. I said, I can't do this because it just was wrong. It wasn't, I mean, it's good for the company, but it wasn't good for humanity.
Yeah, no, and that's what really you guys do, right? You guys fight for the person and make sure that they get the maximum compensation that you can absolutely get them. Because you're right, I've been I was a pedestrian hit when I was in college, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I stood up and I said I'm fine, and thank goodness the officer on the scene was like, no, you're getting an ambulance and we're going to take you to the hospital. But I had no clue, what to
most
do.
people don't, so.
Yeah.
So again, I hope no one gets in
Yeah,
accidents.
right.
And that's when I meet people. They go, "Gosh, I'll come to you and if I'm ever in an accident." My response is always, "I hope you're never in an accident," because But they're out there every day, and that's why we're open for business 24/7. So give us a call.
Absolutely. And what is the number if people do want to call?
Well, it has 937-222-2222, and there is a jingle that goes with that, but I'm not going to sing it right now. You'll turn off this broadcast.
We can put it at the end just in
Yeah,
case.
okay,
Yeah,
great,
there we go.
great.
Perfect.